Something is hiding in the early universe. And according to astronomers, it should not exist. A few months ago, the James Webb Space Telescope detected tiny glowing objects scattered across the deepest regions of space. At first, scientists thought they were ordinary galaxies. But then the data came back. And everything changed. Because these objects were far too massive, far too old, and far too bright to exist so soon after the Big Bang. Astronomers are now calling them little red dots, but the terrifying part isn't the name. It's what may be hiding inside them. Some researchers now believe these tiny red objects could contain enormous black holes forming impossibly fast, only a few 100 million years after the universe supposedly began. And if that's true, then our entire understanding of how the universe formed may already be collapsing. Because according to current physics, these things should not exist. Intro build up. The James Webb Space Telescope was designed for one purpose: to look backward in time. Farther than any telescope in human history. Far enough to witness the first stars, the first galaxies, the first light after cosmic darkness. And at first, everything seemed normal. Beautiful galaxies, ancient stars, cosmic dust clouds. But then Webb started detecting strange red objects buried deep in the early universe. Tiny, bright, compact, almost glowing unnaturally. Astronomers nicknamed them little red dots. That sounds harmless. But these objects immediately caused panic among cosmologists. Because when scientists calculated their brightness, they realized something horrifying. These galaxies appeared to contain black holes with masses millions of times larger than expected. And there's a problem with that. Black holes aren't supposed to grow this fast. Not according to current models. Not according to the known laws of physics. Yet somehow, these ancient objects already look mature. As if the universe had started evolving long before the Big Bang timeline allows. And suddenly, scientists had a terrifying possibility to consider. What if the early universe formed much faster than we thought? Or worse, what if something fundamental about reality is missing? Escalation. Then things got stranger. When astronomers combined Webb observations with X-ray data from NASA's Chandra Observatory, they discovered signs of hidden supermassive black holes buried inside these objects. Not small black holes. Not ordinary black holes. Gigantic ones. The kind normally found in mature galaxies billions of years older. But these objects existed near the dawn of time itself. Which means one of two things must be true. Either black holes can grow impossibly fast, or the universe itself is older and stranger than we thought. And that's where the internet exploded. Because once these findings spread online, people began connecting them to other impossible discoveries Webb has already made. Galaxies appearing too early. Structures too massive. Ancient systems that already look evolved. Objects that appear fully formed when the universe was supposedly still in its infancy. One scientist even admitted these findings are breaking existing models of galaxy formation. And honestly, that may be an understatement. The darker possibility, but here's where this story becomes disturbing. Some researchers are quietly considering another possibility. What if these aren't normal galaxies at all? What if we're seeing something else entirely? Some theorists believe these objects may represent a previously unknown phase of cosmic evolution. Others think they could be evidence of direct collapse black holes, massive primordial monsters born almost instantly after the Big Bang. But a few fringe researchers have proposed something even stranger. What if the early universe wasn't chaotic? What if it was already organized? Structured. Pre-built. As if something accelerated cosmic evolution from the very beginning. And suddenly the conversation starts drifting into terrifying territory. Simulation theory. Unknown physics. Cosmic cycles. Previous universes. Because every time Webb looks deeper into space, the universe appears less random. And more impossible. And that's where the fear truly begins. Because if the James Webb Telescope is revealing impossible galaxies this early into its mission, then what happens when it looks even deeper? What happens when humanity finally sees the first moments of existence itself? Some astronomers believe Webb may eventually detect evidence of population 3 stars, the very first stars ever born. But others think something far stranger could appear first. Because the deeper Webb looks, the further back in time it travels. And eventually, there's supposed to be nothing. No galaxies. No stars. No structure. Just darkness. But recent discoveries are already challenging that expectation. Ancient galaxies keep appearing too soon. Massive black holes keep forming too fast. And some of these structures already look fully evolved, almost as if cosmic history began long before our timeline says it should have. That's the part scientists rarely say out loud. Because if galaxies existed earlier than expected, then something had to build them. And quickly. Too quickly. Now imagine being an astronomer staring at this data in the middle of the night. You spent your entire career trusting a cosmological model that explained how the universe evolved. Step by step. Slowly. Predictably. Then suddenly. A machine orbiting a million miles from Earth starts sending back images that quietly destroy those assumptions one by one. Not dramatically. Not instantly. But slowly enough to feel terrifyingly real. One impossible galaxy becomes 5. 5 becomes 50. And eventually the anomalies stop looking accidental. They start looking connected. Patterns begin emerging. Galaxies too large. Black holes too old. Structures too organized. Energy signatures too powerful. And the scariest possibility of all, maybe these objects aren't anomalies at all. Maybe our understanding of the universe is. That idea has started spreading rapidly online. Especially across science communities discussing Webb's latest findings. Because many people are starting to notice the same thing. Every major discovery from the telescope seems to create more questions than answers. Instead of simplifying the universe, Webb is making reality feel more unstable. Almost unfinished. Like humanity uncovered something we weren't supposed to see yet. And then another disturbing theory entered the conversation. What if these ancient galaxies survived from an earlier cosmic cycle? It sounds impossible. But some theoretical physicists already explore models where universes repeatedly collapse and restart. A cosmic rebirth. Again. And again. And again. If that idea sounds insane, remember this. A few years ago, scientists didn't think mature galaxies could exist this early either. Now they do. So suddenly theories once considered ridiculous don't seem completely impossible anymore. And that changes the psychological atmosphere surrounding these discoveries. Because this isn't just about astronomy anymore. It's about humanity's place in reality itself. For centuries, humans believed we were approaching a complete understanding of the cosmos. Every decade seemed to bring clearer answers. More certainty. More control. But now? The universe suddenly feels mysterious again. Dangerously mysterious. And maybe that's why these images affect people emotionally. Even if they don't understand the science. There's something deeply unsettling about seeing objects that shouldn't exist. Especially when they appear at the very edge of known reality. Tiny red lights hanging silently in infinite darkness. Older than expected. More powerful than expected. Watching this from a time we barely understand. And the most terrifying part? The James Webb Telescope has only explored a fraction of the sky. A tiny fraction. Which means there could be thousands more of these impossible objects waiting to be discovered right now. Hidden in the dark. Waiting for humanity to notice them. Imagine where this leads 5 years from now. 10 years from now. What happens if Webb discovers even older galaxies? What happens if it finds evidence of gigantic structures before the accepted beginning of cosmic history? What if scientists eventually detect signs that spacetime itself behaved differently in the early universe? Because some physicists are already quietly considering radical possibilities. That gravity may have evolved differently. That dark matter may interact in unknown ways. Or that the Big Bang itself may not have been the true beginning of existence. And once those ideas enter public discussion, the implications become existential. Because if the universe had a phase before the Big Bang, then reality may be far larger than humanity ever imagined. Multiple cosmic eras. Multiple universes. Or something even stranger. Some online theorists have even connected Webb's discoveries to simulation theory. The idea that inconsistencies in cosmic evolution could represent